Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for WLBT Plus. My name is Kara Shirley, your digital news desk host on this Wednesday, January the 15th, officially halfway through the month of January and one day closer to spring. Although, unfortunately, next week, the beginning of next week, it's not going to seem that way. We're going to look at your forecast in just a little bit. Don't worry about that. And then, of course, later on today, our First Alert weather team will be here at 2:30 to give you a full in-depth look at that forecast. We also have some stories to update you on to let you guys know things that happened here in the Jackson area, rather, yesterday, and as well as some things that have happened overnight and updates that we have received today. If you're watching on our website, WLBT.com, or our news app, we do appreciate you. And if you're tuning in on our social stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, sometimes we're even on Twitter, assuming that Twitter is going to keep on going after the end of this week. We don't know. Who knows? I guess we'll just have to wait and see on that. But if you are watching on our social streams, thank you for doing that. And make sure that you let me know where you're watching from in the comment section. If you have a question, if you have a thought, a comment, opinion, or anything like that about any of the stories that we bring to you, you can post those there as well. I really enjoy getting to have conversation with you guys. I do ask you be polite, but it's free country, so you can do what you want to do. But I do appreciate all of you for tuning in. Let's go ahead and take a look outside before we get into the news. Let you know what's happening around Jackson. And we're going to look outside Natchez right now. You would think that we're expecting some rain because of the way the skies look. They're a little cloudy, a little overcast, but we are not actually. Well, like I said earlier, we're going to look at that forecast in just a little bit. Let's look over. What do we want to pick? Well, you can just bounce all over the place, really. Let's look over our Air South camera in Mendenhall. Don't forget, you can always go to WLBT.com, click on First Alert Weather to look at our sky cams, except for that one. There's an issue with that one. How about we look at our Market Max camera over Tylertown? There we go. They're very busy there right now in Tylertown. And again, you can see the cloudy skies, some blue trying to peek through here and there. But there is overcast skies. We do have clouds in the skies, but we are not expecting any rain. So let's go ahead and jump into the news. Actually, let's look here. We got Amy Jones saying good afternoon, watching from McGee. Hello, Miss Amy. Bridget is watching from Kosciuszko. Anthony here is watching from Maryland. Thank you so much for watching all the way from Maryland. What's the weather like up there right now? We have Tyree watching from Tennessee, Darden, Tennessee. Where's that located? Is that closer to the Memphis side of Tennessee or the Nashville side of Tennessee? Let me know. And Miss Sanja, did I say Twitter? She said, "Where's Twitter going?" If I said Twitter, that was a misspeak on my part. I meant TikTok. Twitter's not going anywhere. It's TikTok that might be leaving. Thank you for calling me out on that and let me correct myself. And Shirley is watching from right here in Jackson. And Anthony, when I asked the weather in Maryland, well, he just gives little cold emoji. So apparently it's cold up in Maryland. I don't want to be there. I don't want to be here next week when it gets really cold. But we'll get into that in just a little bit. Well, let's go ahead and jump into the news right now, give you some updates on things that happened here and around our area. So a man is now behind bars after being arrested in connection with a homicide that happened in Natchez on New Year's night. So here he is on your screen. Natchez police announced that Travion Coach, age 20, has been taken into custody for the shooting death of Jalen Griffin. They are expecting to be making more arrests in this case. This shooting happened on Dumas Drive on New Year's night. Griffin was killed and a second person was injured. But this individual, Travion Coach, has been taken into custody for that. Bobby asking a question. Did the mayor resign? Well, Bobby, we're going to get into that story in just a little bit. Stick around with me. Britt is in Kosciuszko as well. And let's see. He's in the middle of both. So you're in the middle of the state between Memphis and Nashville. Love Tennessee. Love the mountains of Tennessee. And then Miss Barbara here is saying hello. Hello to you as well, Miss Barbara. Now, a man here in our area, in the Madison, Ridgeland, Jackson area, has pled guilty to illegally taking videos of underage girls without their consent. So here it is. The district attorney's office say that Satcho Mayada, probably pronouncing that incorrectly. I apologize. He pled guilty to 2 counts of filming a child under the age of 16 without permission where there was an expectation of privacy. Uh, Example, not necessarily the what happened in this case, but example would be you're in a restroom, you're expecting privacy, you're in a changing room, trying on clothes, you're expecting privacy there. So just there was he pled guilty filming a child under the age of 16 without permission where there was that expectation of privacy. So investigators say he did this at Liberty Park in Madison and the Renaissance in Ridgeland. He's going to be spending 20 years in prison and will then also have to register as a sex offender once he is released. And police are saying that 5 people are now in custody after a shooting happened on I-20 over in Vicksburg. So this is a video of when some of the arrests were made. So they're still trying to find an 18-year-old by the name of Alvante White, according to the my screen messed up here. Here we go. According to the Vicksburg Daily News, the shooting happened before 1 o'clock yesterday afternoon. It was on I-20 near the Halls Ferry exit. A witness said the shots were fired from a gray Honda with tinted windows. They were aiming at a blue sedan. One person in that car was treated for minor injuries in the blue sedan. Investigators believe the people in the 2 cars knew each other and had been involved in an ongoing dispute. When we get more information on that, we will pass it along to you. Scott Myers says, talking about he once had a squatter in a rental property. He used force to remove them. Don't know what kind of force you used to remove them. Hopefully it was legal force, but we are going to talk about that story in just a little bit as well. Then yesterday, there was happened in Clinton. A unloaded gun was found on a Clinton school bus on yesterday afternoon. So the Clinton Public School District says that it was notified that a student with a gun during the elementary school bus route. Thankfully, that gun was unloaded. Administrators and school resource officers recovered the unloaded gun from the 5th grader. No other students were on the bus when the school resource officers arrived, and the school district says that thankfully no one was hurt. Parents, if you have guns, make sure you have them locked up to where these kids cannot get their hands on them. We told you last week about the dispensary here in Jackson that was robbed. Well, there has been an arrest now made in connection with that burglary. The dispensary is in North Jackson. So the individual that was arrested, that is him on your screen here, Isaiah Gathright. I may be saying that wrong. He's 28 years old. He's being charged with burglarizing Dab's dispensary last Monday, located there on Old Canton Road. Surveillance video shows the 2 suspects committing the crime. So another suspect is still at large. They are still looking for that other suspect, and the owner of the business is still offering a $5,000 reward for information leading up to an arrest. And if we look here in Conahatta, a man from Conahatta, which is in the Newton County area, has been sentenced to more than 24 years in federal prison for sexually abusing a minor. So 28-year-old Brett Keith Thomas, he was indicted by a federal grand jury in July of 2023, and he pled guilty about a year later. So court documents show that the victim was under the age of 12 when the abuse happened in 2016. And that breaks my heart right there. This case was investigated by the Choctaw Police Department and the FBI. So now he will be spending 24 years in jail for that. Now let's get to the story that a lot of people are asking questions about in the chat section here. Um, and it's about the mayor, Jackson Mayor Lumumba. He was on the hot seat yesterday at the city council meeting, months after being indicted on those federal bribery charges, which we are still waiting for the court date to happen for that, for Mayor Lumumba, for the Hinds County DA, Jody Owens, as well as Councilman Aaron Banks. Those are the ones that were indicted. We also had Angelique Lee, who pled guilty, and then Marvay Smith. I'm sorry, Marvay Smith. He wasn't indicted, but there was a bill of information that came down where he pled guilty there. Well, Tuesday's city council meeting included a resolution calling on the mayor to step aside until the matters are related to this bribery scandal are resolved. Councilman Kenneth Stokes spoke about why he believes this resolution should have been passed.
It's so important that we just ask the mayor to step aside. I say sick leave with pay while we try our hardest to navigate a tough situation.
So the resolution ultimately did not pass with council members voting on it 3-2-1. So 3 was against it, 1 undecided, 2 were for it. So he is not stepping aside. That is not going to be happening right now. And he doesn't have to legally, because while he has been indicted, he has not been charged, because he has not been charged for these crimes, or he has not pled guilty to the crimes or anything like that. He still has every legal right to continue his role as the mayor of Jackson. And of course, we do have elections coming up. He still has the right to run for mayor. So we'll just have to wait and see, watch and see what happens with this. Will there be a time that he resigns? We don't know, but we'll watch it. And of course, we will bring you that information as soon as it all comes in here to us. Before we look at our forecast real quick and then talk about the squatter situation that is happening here in Jackson, let's hear from our sponsors at Jackson Water.
At Jackson Water, we are in the game and locked in on our goals. Every day, our dedicated teams are hard at work, ensuring that clean, reliable water flows to every home and business in Jackson. We are not just fixing pipes. We're investing in a brighter, more resilient future for our city. Jackson Water, water for all the time.
And thank you again to Jackson Water for sponsoring WLBT Plus. We very much appreciate you sponsoring us so that we can bring you not only this show every day at 1, but additional content that we are creating to bring for you. Now, Scott Myers here says that the comment says Stokes is planning on running for mayor, I believe. And there have been some rumors circulating about that. We have talked to Councilman Stokes. He says that he has not fully made a decision yet. It really depends on his kids. If his kids tell him no, then he will not be running. But you can guarantee if he makes that announcement, we will definitely pass that info on to you. And Trellis here said that, yes, he only said if his kids agree with it. So we will know. Everyone who plans to run for mayor has until the end of this month to qualify for the mayoral race. And of course, I believe you can vote. Voting happens in May. I could be wrong on that. This would be my first mayor Jackson City official election cycle to go through. But I do know that they have until the end of this month to qualify. The end of this month. I actually believe the 30th this month by 5 p.m. to qualify to run for any official position in the city of Jackson, whether that be mayor or a council person, anything like that. And we do have 6 people that are already confirmed as running for mayor. Mayor Lumumba is not one of those people that has officially confirmed, but we do have several people that have officially confirmed, and we're going to be bringing you more on those very shortly. So stick around with us. I see your question here, Mike. Let me look into it. Scott says here he really believes that Stokes has a heart for Jackson. That's a very nice opinion to have there. That's a very nice opinion to have him. I know I haven't gotten to meet Stokes personally yet. I look forward to getting to do that, but he does seem to have a lot of passion for the city of Jackson. So let's talk now about the squatters that are happening at an abandoned home here in Jackson. CJ and I told you last, CJ Lamaster told you and I told you, I'll get my words out right in a second. We told you last Friday about a new series that WLBT is doing. It's a 52-week investigation on fighting the blight here in Jackson. It's going to be running every Tuesday at 6. And of course, the abandoned homes, abandoned properties, and businesses. It not only is an eyesore for the city of Jackson, but it also lends towards there being more crime, businesses not wanting to come in because people who want to work at those businesses or would work at those businesses are not wanting to move here. It affects so much more than just the aesthetics of the city of Jackson when you have the abandoned buildings in our area. Well, there is an abandoned home in North Jackson, in this neighborhood, and it is attracting some uninvited guests. The home's located on Northside Drive, where residents say squatters have now taken over this property. So here is, let me get that big video for you of the home. Here's the home right here. A neighboring resident, Austin Real, expressed frustration that the grass hasn't been cut in over a year and that the home and the space around it has been taken over by the homeless community. He also says that he reached out to the landlord several times about cleaning things up, but he was met with empty promises. He says that he is now considering putting his house up for sale, saying that the neglect has become too much to deal with and that it is causing a lot of problems.
We were going to stay, and this started happening. I have a man coming out today to build a privacy fence to separate us. My wife was out in the back cleaning yesterday, and she just didn't feel comfortable because one of the guys came out staring at her. And I mean, you just don't do stuff like that.
So the owner of the property is Judson Cross Sr. The city of Jackson issued a correction order for him to cut the grass and the weeds and to secure the property, which would prevent squatters from getting in. If he does not comply with this, the city will then have a contractor to come in and cut the grass, secure the property, and then I'm assuming they will forward that bill on to the property owner. That's just one of the situations of blight that is here in Jackson. If you have a problem like what this individual had here, Austin Real, I'm sorry. That was a house that was his neighbor that is causing problems in the area. If you know of other areas in the city of Jackson, other blighted areas, I'll show you where you can go on our website and you can submit that information and a story to us. So this is our website here. If you look along the top of the page here, you got First Alert Weather, Jackson Bribery Scheme, and then if you click on Fight the Blight, we scroll down here and this is a place where you can enter your information and tell us about what you have going on, and we will reach out to you. And hopefully, maybe if we all work together, we can cause a permanent positive change for the city of Jackson where this is concerned. We can't do it without you, though. So please go to the website, enter your information, submit it to us, and let us know what issues you have going on in your area or areas that you may work in, travel in frequently, things such as that. Going to our comments session here. Angela at the Mike magazine. It's like my brain is going too fast to catch up with what my mouth needs to say. But she's saying, "Hey, Kara. Hey, Angela. How are you doing?" Let's see. Rachel Ray says that she was asking about the mayor resigning. He has not yet resigned. The Mike magazine, Angela says Jackson should find the folks who won't keep up keep the property up. And that is very true. But remember a couple weeks ago, CJ came in and told us about a investigation, 3 on Your Side investigation that he did with AMR. Or on AMR, and their response times that were not up to the contractual obligations that they have with the city of Jackson, with the Hinds County area. And they were so bad that over a 3-month time period, AMR could have been fined over $1 million. I believe it was $1.3 million, and the city has not fined them for that. So, it could lead one to ask the question, if the city is not fining someone over $1.3 million that they could have gotten from them in a 3-month time for them failing to meet their obligations or do what is supposed to be done within a 3-month time period, are they gonna fine a person because they're not cutting the grass? We don't know. We know that there's only 2 code enforcers here in the city of Jackson, and there is a lot of Jackson for 2 code enforcers to have to work. So it could just be that's just not something that they have to prioritize right now, or that they can even prioritize because there's just not enough of them. Maybe the answer is to bring in more code enforcers so that more codes can be enforced, for lack of better term there. But we'll see. Like we said, hopefully by us doing this series and bringing these stories to the attention of the public, and maybe even putting some pressure on city officials, maybe we can help to increase or create a positive change here in the city of Jackson with this. Like I said, we need your help in doing that. So go to our website and send in your stories if you have one. There was a joint hearing on homelessness vagrants. State senators, they are looking for a resolution or even some solutions, potential solutions on the homelessness issue. The city of Jackson has the highest amount of homeless residents in any city in the state of Mississippi by a very large margin, very, very large margin. So this week's testimony points to the need for collaboration between state and local government, but also some community groups. So there's 2 state committees. Let me make sure that is not going to volume's not going to explode on us in a second. Two state committees heard from those working in various communities throughout the state. They all described the overlapping problem of many of the homeless, what they're dealing with, like addiction or mental health issues. The Department of Mental Health discussed how some resources are already in place, and community groups explained what's working in their communities. A Supreme Court decision last year does clear the way for legislation going forward.
It's been determined by the High Court that states and local county and municipal governments have a public health and public safety interest in addressing many of these issues. There have been a lot of questions constitutionally before that as to whether we could even try to address some of this, because do people have a right to live on the street? Did they have a right to sleep, in the open sky in a state park or a city park?
So a survey happens each year to determine the federal funding the state receives for addressing homelessness. That snapshot indicates an overall increase in people experiencing homelessness. And even, this is really sad too, an even bigger increase of homelessness among children. So hopefully something can happen to help to curb that problem here in the state of Mississippi, and more specifically here in Jackson. Amy Jones says here, we have a mayor that our aldermen's asked to resign. We were told only the governor can make a mayor resign or be removed. But they did ask them to resign. Zion City Council did ask them to resign, did have a vote on it. And of course, the vote didn't pass. The mayor did not resign. As far as the governor can make the mayor resign or remove, you may be correct, but I am uneducated on that section of it. So I will check into that, and I'll let you know. I'll let you know if that is actually true. Tracy Weston says here that property taxes are due about the 1st of February. All abandoned properties that are not up to city code should be taken over by the city. And that could be a solution, but then what's going to happen once they're taken over by the city? A lot of the blighted properties that are out there are already property of the city of Jackson. So there's got to be more manpower behind this to help to control the blighted communities in our city, in our capital city, which should be, the best taken care of city in the state. You would think, I would think at least, it deserves better as our capital city. Hopefully, though, this campaign will help some improvement. Mike Magazine says that she likes the Fight the Blight campaign. Thank you so much. Jerry is watching all the way from Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Wow, love Gatlinburg. Absolutely love Gatlinburg. And Ken says he needs to go. I'm assuming you're talking about Mayor Lumumba says that he needs to go. He's done enough damage. Well, if you are a resident of Jackson, you can take action on that with your vote when it comes time to vote. Well, Tuesday marked 1 year since a tragic propane explosion left 4 people dead in Copiah County, which then also led to a lawsuit against Herring Gas for the incident. So we now know that a settlement has been reached between the family and Herring Gas. We let you know about this suit initially when it was just filed days after the event, which the suit claimed the crews were at fault after they had filled the propane tank the night before the explosion happened. Here is video of the home after the explosion. So the incident claimed the lives of Benji and Houston Jordan, an unnamed minor, and a 52-year-old man that was not included in the lawsuit. According to State Fire Marshal's office, they ruled for the cause for the explosion as undetermined. The law firm in the suit, the law firm which is Morgan and Morgan, was able to take a deeper dive with the propane tank itself, which they discovered that the tank was over 70 years old and had ruptured, partly due to weather as well as being overfilled the night before.
I think that there will be some good come out of this, even if it saves one person. So I think that that's one of the upsides here. How do we prevent this from happening in the future, and making sure that there are things that are implemented and steps that are taken in the future to prevent this, and hopefully that's going to stay.
Now, of course, the amount of the settlement is confidential at this time. It has not been released, but it's just giving you guys an update on this story that happened a year ago. We covered a year ago. And also with the cold temperature that we have coming, you want to make sure that you are inspecting if you have propane or natural gas, make sure you're inspecting those tanks properly, having someone inspect them properly for your home, and just to make sure to try and mitigate any kind of damage like this that could happen. And speaking of the weather, I didn't look at it earlier, but we're going to do that now. Let's look at our temperatures outside. We are sitting beautifully in the mid 60s out there. Well, I say the mid 60s. We're 60 in Hazelhurst. We're more like the upper 50s around the rest of the area, but it is a beautiful day weather-wise outside. So we don't have any rain in the area. There is some cloud coverage. We're not expecting any rain, especially over the next 12 hours as we drop down into the mid 30s. Should get some sunshine as the day goes on, but clear skies overnight. And then our next 7 days, you can see we're going to jump back into the 60s, upper 60s on Saturday. We do have a chance of rain, but then Sunday we drop right back down to 40. And then Monday and Tuesday, look at that for Tuesday. We're looking at a high of 34. Those wind chill factors are going to make it feel much colder than 34, much lower than freezing. And there is at this point a chance for some wintry precipitation. I'm okay with that. As I mean, if we got to deal with the cold, at least give us a day of snow. But if we're not going to get the snow, then stop with the cold. Like winter, we're done. We need spring. We need spring to happen now. But I I may have a million people that disagree with me on that, that love all things cold weather. Well, if you have tried to drop off anything, dump anything at the Jackson landfill, you may have run into some issues not being able to do that. It's on I-55 South Frontage Road. Recently, this is where the landfill is. And if you can't drop off those items, well, you're probably wondering why not and where can I take items that I need to. So the city's landfill located in Byram. It's located in Byram and is currently not fully operational, which means that they're not taking certain products. And that is because their sale, which is where waste is to be placed, has expired. So the landfill is only accepting tires and appliances at the moment. At his weekly media briefing, the Mayor Lumumba answered our questions about why this process has taken several months.
Now, it is not completely closed, right? We are waiting for one of the sales for MDEQ to give approval. We've spent a lot of money to open up a new sale. So it's not that that particular rubbish landfill is closed for all eternity, or the portions of it that are closed for all eternity.
Has been closed for a while though, so hopefully it will. The sales will be fixed and corrected soon so that people can use the Byram landfill. So you can drop off your waste products at a Faircloth landfill, which is located in Clinton, as the city awaits for the approval from the Department of Environmental Quality. Well, the Department of Environmental Quality did respond last night to the story, because we aired this last night. They responded in saying a previous site inspection at the city's Class 1 rubbish site resulted in a notice of violation. They said that it added, while the city committed to address these issues, to date, they do remain unresolved. And the agency also says it has not made any specific request to suspend or to restrict activities at this Class 1 or Class I rubbish site. They did also say in their statement, in part here, it says, if the city decided to restrict operations at the site, it may have been to help address compliance concerns or to prevent exacerbating them. But they're saying they did not say to the city that you need to shut the site down or you need to minimize what can be dropped off there until these violations are corrected. So that's what they're saying right now. We'll continue to follow it and keep you updated. And looking real quick in Madison County, there's a large section of Callett Road in Madison County, which is now able to be widened after an emergency Board of Supervisors meeting happened yesterday. This video here is going to show you where that road is, and I'm going to tell you what this means for you. So not that now that all of the right-of-way is purchased on Callett Road between Gluckstadt Road and Red Fox Road, it will soon become a 3-lane. It also allows for a traffic signal, a turning lane to be added to the intersection at Stribling Road Extension to help alleviate traffic for parents that are dropping their children off at the Germantown Middle School and High School.
Since I got elected 9 years ago, traffic has been a major concern in Madison County, especially in the AM peak hours trying to get to work. We're designing a network of roads: Bozeman, Reunion 2, the interchange, Catlett, Stribling Road Extension. So we think a network will help get people to work more efficiently in the morning and home in the afternoon.
So even though the right-of-way has been purchased, it's still roughly a year away from seeing shovels hit the ground over there. Utility relocation should begin, though, within the next several months. And we told you yesterday about a new bill going to the House to help eliminate grocery tax and things such as that. Well, the new tax reform bill proposed by state lawmakers has now passed out of committee. So the Build Up Mississippi Act passed unanimously out of the Way and Means Committee yesterday evening. This bill includes a full elimination of the state income tax. Turn that down for you. State income tax, the reduction to the grocery tax, and funds for state and county roads. So the next step for this is consideration by the full House, and we will, of course, keep you updated on that. That's going to be the end of WLBT Plus today. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Make sure you are back here at 2:30 for the First Alert Weather Team so they can give you that detailed look at the forecast and let you know, will there be snow? Angela at the Mike Magazine is saying, yes, snow. And I'm saying, no, snow. But we'll find out. We'll find out together at 2:30 today. So make sure you're here for the First Alert Weather Team. And I will be back tomorrow at 1 o'clock. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Enjoy the vitamin D and the warmer temperatures while we can. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, y'all.